This one came up on Reddit a few months back and got some quite good comments at the time, but it's stuck in my head to become the thing that I find myself mulling over as I'm out on my bike or walking to the shops or whatever. I can't possibly hope to answer it for you or anyone else, but it's quite interesting to try and answer it for myself. And who knows, maybe something that I'll mull over might be something that you would mull over. We shall see. Just to be clear, when I talk about touring in this one, in my head I'm kind of picturing big touring. Yeah, the kind of tours where you've quit work, stashed all your worldly possessions in your parents' attic and set off with a hazy route in mind and no return date booked. Those are the best kind of tours, in my opinion. But they're also not the commonest kind of tours, no matter how much I wish they were. And I think the points that I'll make in this, they stand up just as well for rides of a week or a few days. As long as you're out there, that's what really matters. This is the first thing to get out of the way because by its simplest definition, better just means feeling better. I have improved from a previous state of existence which was somehow worse than this one. And if that's the definition that we're going for, then the question becomes a very simple one. Do you feel better when you're touring? Hell yeah, absolutely. Free of stress, free of responsibilities, just free, really. It's the best way to exist. But the actual question was worded more delicately than that. Not, do you feel better when you're touring, but are you a better person? And that is a much more complicated one to try and answer. In real life, you know, not touring life, I'm not a particularly sociable person. I'm not a weird hermit. You know, I have friends, I do stuff, but I've always been something of an introvert in that I find socialising to be quite tiring and solitude to be quite revitalising. So when I'm at home and I'm working and keeping up with friends and family and stuff, I kind of have my fill of all of that. And when I get time for myself, I tend to not be out seeking new social stuff. You know, I'm more often out looking for quiet times. When I'm touring though, this flips round. Because out there, it's not at all uncommon to go a few days without talking to anyone. But also to find yourself suddenly thrown in with strangers unexpectedly. Yeah, these might be other cyclists that you fall in with on the road, people you meet in a campsite, or just locals who want to chat. But here, I really relish those kind of interactions. You know, because I've had my fill of solitude, I'm ready for them, I embrace them. And they're always a part of tours that I remember very fondly. So this sounds promising, right? When I'm on tour, I'm more open to unexpected social encounters. That's got to be a good thing. If I was to meet you at a party or at work, then there's a kind of an understanding that at some point in the future, we might meet again, we might work together, or at the very least, we might both interact with some mutual third party. It's a small thing, and most people probably wouldn't notice it, but I think it subtly changes the introduction. When you're on tour though, it's completely different. Because here, the assumption is you're going to spend a few hours with this person and then both go your own separate ways, probably never to see each other again. It sort of just relieves a little bit of that pressure, be it imagined or real. You add to this the fact that meetings on tour are often quite choreographed. You know, they almost always follow the pattern of where you're from, where have you been, where are you going. You know, it's the cycle touring equivalent of the old classic, so what do you do? Except in a situation where I actually care about the answer you're going to give and you actually want to tell me. You know, everyone who's on tour has stories and they always want to share them and they're always interesting to hear. By the time you've got through that little dance, you've had plenty of time to decide if this person is a bit of a weirdo and you want to make your excuses and crash out early, or whether they're cool and you want to dig in for the night and mull over some weightier topics. So I think there's an argument to be made for the idea that I am more sociable when I'm on tour, but maybe that's only because I put less value on the relationships that I'm striking up and I don't have to try as hard. Now, it's not all bad. I have met people on tour who I'm still in touch with years later. But I think there probably is a sad little ironic truth to the idea that I'm a more interesting person to meet on tour, precisely because I'm not really trying to be. Day to day, I'm not exactly lacking in confidence. I don't exude it out of my skin like some people, but neither do I live every day in terror. I do all right. When I'm cycle touring though, I'm definitely more confident in a different sort of way. I think when you're riding long distance, you're constantly being faced with and solving small problems. Just little stuff like, where do I go at this fork in the road? Do I need to stop in this town and resupply, or can I make it onto the next one? It's raining, where can I shelter? And you get very used to being able to deal with all these things. Get a puncture, you fix a puncture. Break your chain, fix your chain. Snap the cable, replace the cable. It's a very positive state to exist in. Now, there are still things that can go catastrophically wrong. A broken frame, shattered rim, that kind of thing. But even then, you know what has to be done and it's within your capabilities to do it. You've just got to hike out to the nearest town, find somewhere to fix you up. There is no boiler to explode. There are no unacceptable deadlines at work. There is no car to break down. You are in control. And that's got to be a good thing, right? That sounds promising. When I'm on tour, I exist in a state of confident self-reliance. The other way of looking at this, of course, is that I've lowered the bar. You know, there is no deadline at work because I'm unemployed. There is no boiler to explode because I'm homeless. It's all very well saying that I'm going forward in a state of confidence and self-reliance, being able to deal with anything the day throws at me, and that's basically because I've run away from everything that I couldn't deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, again, does that make me a better person? I don't know. Jury's out, I think. I think this is the real crux of things, because assigning value to anything involves you looking at it from a certain viewpoint. So if I'm being totally selfish about this, then am I a better person when I'm on tour? Hell yes, I am. I am content, I'm relaxed, as we've just discussed. I'm more sociable, I'm more confident. It doesn't matter, the people I meet don't know that I'm not treating them the way I would if I met them somewhere else. And so what if my confidence revolves around existing in a slightly smaller sphere than usual? that is the sphere I'm existing in, so it's all good. But really, I don't think it is down to me to decide this. You know, you see a lot of people, especially on social media, doing the whole live your best life, be your best self thing. And as I see it, that's quite often just a coded way of saying do what you want to make yourself feel good. Indulge yourself. Don't listen to anyone else and damn the consequences. And I don't think that's a good way to exist, because like it or not, none of us are on this ride solo. You know, we're all part of a group. And I don't mean race and nationality and religion and class and gender and all those stupid labels that we just decide to put on ourselves. I just mean we're all humans, we're all in the same boat. And when you're in the same boat as other people, I think it's fair enough to allow your shipmates to be the ones who assign value to you as an individual. So what about other folk? You know, there are lots of people probably who would think that the idea of a 43-year-old man cycling around with no job, living in a tent, whittling spoons, is a bit sad and a bit of a waste. Fortunately, I don't know many of those people. I think my friends and my family would mostly be happy to know that I was happy and was having fun. So that's kind of nice. But then on the other side of that, maybe they've missed me when I'm away. So who knows? I think you folk out there in the internet, you probably benefit more than anyone else from me living that lifestyle. You know, if you've made it this far in this video, I'm assuming that you're not too averse to listening to me waffle on. So maybe me being out touring, making these videos, will brighten up your days a little bit. You know, that'd be nice. But the reality is that most humans are going to live and die without ever knowing I existed, without feeling any direct impact of any of the things that I do. So again, I'm a little lost here. Now, I do like the fact that bikepacking and cycle touring are pretty low impact, sustainable ways to travel, to see the world. And, you know, I like the fact that possibly me doing these videos might in some way help someone else to decide that they want to give it a go, and that they might find out they love it as much as me, and because of that maybe not get on a plane one time when they would have done. So I guess that's a good thing, but it's pretty nebulous really. So we find ourselves at the finish, and you got this far, and so you're probably waiting for some kind of big reveal, some big yes/no answer, but I don't think there is one. Am I a better person when I'm touring? I don't think I can answer that one. I think it would be selfish of me to do so. I would hope that the question is almost the same as asking, is the world a better place when I'm touring? And that's really not down to me. That's down to all my fellow human beings. That's down to you and everyone else. So in true YouTube wafty philosophy, COD, self-help nonsense style, I'm going to answer a question with not even a question. Am I a better person when I'm cycle touring? That, my friend, is entirely up to you, I think.